It's time to take you through the social space, and Messi Manuel is here with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Martha.
Good morning.
Good morning, Samson.
Good morning.
Good morning. And it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. What's buzzing?
Good morning. And here are some of the stories trending across the globe. Federal government promised to include the security of schools in 2023 budget. Nigeria singer Wizkid achieved remarkable feat in his music career on Thursday as he becomes the first African artist to headline the world's biggest gaming event in Saudi Arabia. Italy on Thursday unveils new $17.4 billion package against inflation. China conducts military deals as tension escalates following U.S. House Speaker Pelosi's visit to the island. Out of this headline, I think the one I'm going to pick on is the security package that is going to be included in 2023 budget. Yes. I think it's a very good one because at the present moment now in Nigeria, not just as in Nigeria, almost everybody are facing or experiencing insecurity one way or the other. You are in your house, you're not even sure what will happen in the next moment. And a lot of schools in Abuja and far north are already shut down at the moment. Why? Because of unknown cases of unknown gunmen. And again, they are not even sure how secure they are at the moment. We had the case of Kankara, we had the case of Kangara, we had the case of Chibok girls, we had the case of Dapchi, a lot that we can't even tell, can't really say at this moment. What do you have to say?
It's good. It's good to secure our schools. You know, my only concern is how feasible is it? You know, it's a great idea, but for every idea, there's always the pro and con that you have to weigh. You look at having the security budget, attached to the education for 2023 just to ensure that our schools are safe. That will require, probably the deployment of, policemen or security personnel to schools. Our police force is already undermanned in the first place or understaffed. We do not meet up with the ideal criteria that should be in terms of placement to citizens. So what it means is the police force that is already, stretched beyond measure will be further stretched in terms of deploying, members of the police force to man these schools. And how many schools do we have? If you count the number of, federal schools we have from secondary school down to the universities, polytechnics, even possibly your primary schools, you realize that it's probably up to 1,000 altogether when you add all three. So do we have up to 2,000, police force men that we can deploy to these schools on an average of maybe 2 policemen per school just to man the gates and ensure that they are safe? That's where it's worrisome. If you decide to deploy other arms of the military, like your NSCDC, for example, these men are also tasked with manning our pipelines, and we know quite well that we're dealing with pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and all of that. They are also stretched, so it's difficult to see how this will fly. Do not forget that we're also borrowing to finance our budgets and even pay salaries. It's a good idea, but I'm looking at the feasibility. It's really difficult.
I know it's a good idea, but at the moment I'm just thinking, what will the fate of our education system be at the end of the day? Because aside ASU strike, schools in Abuja are shut down at the moment. So what would the fate of they say we are the leaders of tomorrow. How are we going to be the leaders of tomorrow when children cannot even go to school?
But the thing is, aside what Samson has said, that's very, very is important, worthy of note. The thing is, like I mentioned earlier before now, how did we even get to the point where we have to safeguard our secondary schools and primary schools? It was never like this.
It was never
People
like
had
this.
gone to school before now, the days of free education. People had gone to schools. Children had gone to school without their parents. So
children even trekked to school.
Leave houses open. So
exactly.
How did we even get to this point? Now, aside the fact that we don't have enough security personnel for our own use, like normal use, talk of having to, and also the budget too. We're already borrowing to finance our budget. So even though you have to recruit these people, recruitment process will take money. Paying the salaries of these people will take money. To training, because you have to train them. Like something mentioned earlier, you're dealing with children, not even dealing with bandits or insurgents. So you have to train them special kind of training. And also, I think the main point is we should rather deal, as much as it's good to safeguard our schools, we have safeguard places that have still been invaded. The Guje prison, security there, Nigerian Defense Academy in itself, security is the actual work in itself. So we've safeguarded places that have still been invaded. So rather than all of these things and spend more money when we even need money, we borrow to pay salaries, borrow to finance the budget, rather than do this, dealing with the root cause. See, the thing is, the root cause is terrorism. But that's the root cause. We have to
find a lasting solution.
all of those things are good, but they are very temporary. What if these people invade? Still, they use weapons that are for war.
No, for them to be able to invade a Kuje prison,
so
the Defense Academy.
We should look for a lasting Defense Academy, like I mentioned, Kuje prison, all of these correctional centers attack the president's advanced team. So you think it's the next second? I'm not praying for that, but then rather than all of this thing, find the lasting solution to it. Let it be that once and for all. We don't need to sleep with our
two eyes closed.
No, sleep with one eye open because of insecurity. We rather want to sleep with two eyes closed. So lasting solution is the thing.
Okay, I hope they work towards it. They will pray for a better and more secure Nigeria. So let's move to the next, the main story. Justice Basi Ukanag of the High Court in Akwa Ibom State has sentenced Uduak Frank Akpan to death, life imprisonment for a case of rape, and death by hanging for case of murder. Delivering judgment on Thursday, Justice Nkanag ruled that the convict would die by hanging. He, however, discharged and acquitted the second accused, Frank Akpan, the father of the convict, and the third accused, Basi Anwan. That's the sister of the convict. The deceased, Miss Wore, a 26-year-old graduate of philosophy from the University of Uyo, was raped, murdered, and buried in a shallow grave by the convict. It was gathered that Ukpan Akpan lured the deceased to his family residence in a local government area in the state for a job interview in April 2021, where she was killed. More was an orphan awaiting call-up for the mandatory National Youth Service Program before she was murdered. While in court, the convict tried to escape but was caught. We can see this the video on the screen. He actually tried to escape while in court. I read different things on Twitter that even attacked one of the security personnel in the court. But again, it's a good one that last we got justice for Wore, but again, she's dead already, which is just the sad one. And she's just a Nigerian, a graduate, trying to just look for a means. I just want to have I just want to be doing something. She doesn't want to be idle. She doesn't want to steal. She doesn't want to go into prostitution. She wants to do the legit thing. But see what happened to her.
It's terrible, the fate that befell her, and it just shows you that for every good intention that individuals have, there are also those who hold bad intentions, and there could be a clash in that sense. She was going for a good cause, and someone else had a different intention. It's quite unfortunate. I hope that this ruling would give a bit of comfort to the family. It can't replace the life, no doubt about it, but that sense of hope that okay, at least there's a bit of justice. Again, it shows you how ambiguous justice is, and those who have often said, is there really justice in the real sense of things, but I just hope that this sense of justice, regardless of how little, will bring solace to our loved ones.
But to me, the guy was not even remorseful. If you see the video,
well, it is what it is. Do not forget that there were several insinuations that it wasn't acting alone, that it was a network and what have you. There were even talks of probably organ harvesting and all. I hope the police would investigate further, but this ruling itself is what I just even want to talk about, that it's a good one, and hopefully the family gets a bit of succor from that. So
before I get Margaret's reaction, let's take some tweet. Okay. As Gide_traffic says, why the death sentence on Uduak Frank Akpan over Imobong or Moren's murder is welcome. I make bold to say that this is justice half served. Where are the other accomplices exposed in David Udei's investigation report? You could recall that David did an expose on this story, and there are other accomplices. Then at Unsuka_Okpa say, now that Uduak Frank Akpan has been sentenced to death, can we please reopen the case of Bamishe, the lady that was gruesomely murdered while she was in the BRT? The driver killed her and nothing is being done. The case is in court. Then as General Oluchi says, unfortunately, there are still many Uduak Frank Akpan lurking on social media, offering fake jobs, fake accommodations, and fake professional services. Margaret.
Well, the thing, I will look at it from the angle of the rate of crime. That young man is a small boy. that have not even seen. I don't know how much hardship he had seen that he may want to. I don't know his real intention. Even if it was organ harvesting, you rape you. I don't know why. I don't know why.
And bury her in a shallow
grave. I don't know the level of wickedness in the hearts of that young man. That not even. I'm not sure it's up to 30 years old. He's pretty young. He's really young. So it shows the rate of crime in our society already. It has infiltrated both into the... Before, we used to hear stories of money rituals when Bollywood movies come. They used to portray people old to be our fathers. But right now, the young ones who are, rather than make ends meet for yourself, you're looking for people to kill. And again, Umoren is just a 26-year-old girl who was waiting for youth service. As a matter of fact, if it's in a country where you trust your system, you will know that after youth service, you will get a job. Exactly. Or you know that immediately you graduate, you will get a job, even while you're working. A country where because really she didn't have trust for her system. She really wanted to make ends meet, so she wanted to get money at a job at all means. Really, it's even in Nigeria that in the sense, under quote unquote, Nigeria happened to that young lady, and Nigeria maybe had happened to the boy that he had decided to do that.
That was his choice.
Well, maybe
because both of them are youth.
Right? Okay.
So Umora will have also followed his path, but again, she just chose to do the right thing.
Well, okay, let's just say Nigeria happened to the young lady because it's sad. It was really, really a sad story too. If you go online now, you still see people offer fake jobs.
Yes.
And rather, there should be a regulatory committee that would look at these things. Since this fake shop offers has been there for a while and it's still on, and really if tomorrow fake shop offers are still going, they will even send you text messages. How do they even get your numbers? Another thing.
Let's move on. A 17-year-old student of the Ofa Grammar School in Ofa local government area of Kwara State, Adegoke Adeyemi, had allegedly committed suicide after failing to gain promotion to the next class in his school. Adegoke, who was found hanging on a tree, reportedly decided to take his life because he will not be moved to the senior secondary school 1 to 2. The Kwara State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Okonsomi Ajayi, confirmed the incident in a statement on Wednesday. He said the victim, Adegoke Adeyemi, 17-year student of a grammar school, was believed to have hanged himself as a result of his failure to pass his promotion exam from SS1 to SS2, which necessitated him is being asked to repeat the class. The corpse was taken to Ofa General Hospital for an autopsy, while the investigation has been launched into the matter. This is a very, very sad case. I know how bad, as a student in secondary school, how bad someone can feel repeating the class. And I know that stigma, the way your mates even look at you, he's Olodo. He does not know anything. That's why he repeats that class. So I want to believe that was what pushed this guy.
Yeah. And if you look at it, he's 18, yeah, 17, maybe going to 18. If you look at it, it didn't start today. You know, there's something about depression. Depression is a continuous process. You may that boy didn't just wake up to hang himself. I can tell you that
SS1.
That
means the education is actually very slow.
And if you look at, maybe he's a slow learner.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't have people around him who can tell him, come on, you can do this. If you are repeating, doesn't even mean you are dull. Maybe you just want you to be better.
Just simply,
you know, there's something with children. What you tell them sticks to their memory, whether you like it or not. What they see you do and what you tell them. Imagine telling a child you are daft, you are foolish, you are useless. He starts believing he's useless, and he'll be like, I know my mother, last thing she would do is not just to flog me. You know, all of those things. This thing didn't start today. When you look at people who are depressed, people don't just wake up to take their lives. He's just 17. How bad has what has he seen that can make him take his life? So I think people should be more sensitive to words, to actions, to behavioral patterns, and the least you can do for someone, rather than tell the person they are dull, is rather keep quiet. If you can encourage, that boy didn't just wake up and take his life. There's something that has an undertone to it. He's been facing some things this is just a build up. Probably he can't take it anymore, because you can't tell me he can't have one person in his class, in a school, at home to talk to. Maybe he sees everybody as well. They think I'm not good enough, or I'm not so bright like my mates. So I think this is just the best option. Well, sad thing, and we wish the family
The fortitude,
to bear the loss. But then how much fortitude can you give a mother that has just lost a 17-year-old child?
Samson, before I get your opinion, I think at this moment our teachers, parents, they need to get it right. They need to understand that children, they learn different. Their ability to learn and understand is different. And again, when you have a child like this that fail an his or her exam, what you're supposed to do is to call that kind of student and counsel him or her. Okay, you didn't do well, and that does not mean you're a failure. Yeah. You can do better, but we don't have that in our schools.
Hardly do.
We don't.
Beyond schools, even at home. I mean, you've said that. I'm not going to dispute the fact that growing up, you know, some of us had those experiences where you probably do not do well and you're being compared, yes. Or you know, you are doing well, but you have someone who is being compared to you. And you're wondering,
so like
that's not, you understand, you're not like your sister, you know. So you have parents do that. That those who at 16, their parents will tell them, I have nothing to do with education again, just because probably you failed the O-level exam or whatever. You know, these are the issues. So I really hope that, as you've said, you know, parents, teachers would stop comparing children, because children are different, or pupils, students are different. That's one. Then two, that regardless of how a child fares, you do not just make use of a standard perimeter to, you know, parameter rather, to judge that child as either a failure or a success. There are gray areas that would require improvement and can see a transition from failure or, you know, to being better. So let's see how it is. I feel for the family, and I hope that they you know, find strength at this time.
I know before now schools do have counselors. I don't know if they still have by now.
Majority of them they barely do anything.
Or even then when they had counselors, I don't know what they do, because students don't even visit
quickly
them.
Sorry, we don't have so much time, but in my secondary school then the counselor was asking me out. And I was in secondary school and he was supposed to be a counselor. So imagine a counselor asking a SS1, I was in SS1, SS2 when he came. He was asking an SS2 student out. I just ruled out counseling. You're asking me and I go to talk to you. You're telling me I'm beautiful.
In 10 seconds, we may laugh about it now, but
it
doesn't make sense.
What if a child had fallen for that and start some misbehavior while in secondary school? That's supposed to be a counselor.
So it doesn't make sense, really. It's just sad.
So if our school systems are not okay, I think parents on their part should just bring their ensure their children can tell them anything, be open to them, and they should be open. You don't just keep scolding children. Advise them, encourage them, and they will be better. Thank you.
That's it. I think that's even the quotes of the day today. So from Mercy,
it is.
Don't just keep scolding children. Advise them. Keep telling them look at the side that they had done well.
Their strength.
Exactly.
Their strength. Even though if 1%, build on that 1%, it could become 90%. Over time. So it's not enough to just tell them you've not done this. One of the ones they've done. Everybody needs a sense of belonging. Everybody needs to be loved and appreciated. And on this note, we say thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you, and you belong to us. We all belong to you too. Well, it's been an amazing week. Thank you to the production crew for making this a success, and to you, our esteemed viewer. Without you, there is no iBrand. They will also join us next time, same station on Monday, for another edition of iBrand. I am Margaret Obadu. Have an amazing weekend.
I'm Mercy Emmanuel. Enjoy your weekend.
I'm Samson Lady. Do have a great sporting weekend.